Good morning, good afternoon, good middle of the night. This is Michelle Williams, your Survey123 Jedi. Padawan, you made it. You're in your 6th week. And this is just a little bit more of what we've been doing before. We're going to create a repeat, and then we're going to be able to take data over and over and over again. So that's what a repeat is. So right now we have our main survey, which is the family address book, which is great for one-offs. You know, you send it out once a year and they can add information to it. What the repeat does is it would take the family data and keep that the same, and then put the individuals in their own little repeat, so that every year you can find out different, where they are in their journey. So what I would do is I would put like myself and my husband and my 2 boys, and each of us would have our own little repeat. And it might have things like my t-shirt size, because this all came about because my mom and I wanted to know what everybody was into so that we could start buying gifts for Christmas and birthdays. So we send this out before school starts, because actually July, because all the birthdays start in August. We have our biggest plethora of birthdays in August. So we want to know what those are. So July is a good time to get these set up. So what we do is in that repeat, we would say, what's your favorite hobbies? What grade are you in? What's your favorite teacher? Things that are important to them. And then we also have history. So going back as many years as we've been doing this, to figure out, okay, see how that trend was going? They were into Minecraft for like 6 years. And everything that we did was all geared towards Minecraft. And then we build scrapbooks. So this is also a way for us to track everything, which is kind of fantastic. So we would do like, what size is your t-shirt? What's your favorite hobby? Your favorite snack? The place to eat at? Your favorite game to play? Whatever that looks like for you. You might even add, do you have a pet right now? And what's your cat's name, or what's your pet's name? Write in a little bit of information, because then in 20 years, when somebody's trying to figure out how to do scrapbook pages for this one thing, we can go, oh yeah, they had that orange cat. Where was that orange cat? And we can look back in all this data and say, oh yeah, that was Camper, or whoever that cat was. My mom started doing this with pictures a long time ago, and that's where this idea came from. She goes, okay, I've got all these pictures and I don't know where they were, but I know they're like this date range, because we had pink walls in our living room at that time. Okay, what color was the carpet? Because that'll break it down to 2 different years. It's very scientific. So that's how you do it. So this is kind of keeping us with, kind of helps us with that. Anyway, so what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and dive into this. So what we did last week, the last time we met, we did the family address book. So we're going to copy that one right now. So we're going to save as. I'm going to put repeat right here in the front, so that you can see why I do this. So we're going to call it the exact same thing, but we're putting repeat right here in the front. Say create. And the reason I put repeat in the front is because of how little space we have right here. You'll notice if I would have said the same information, but I would have said family address book space repeat, we wouldn't be able to see that. So we wouldn't know which one it was. So your important information goes up front, and then all the extra information goes in the back. So kind of keep that in mind. It'll keep your sanity much better. So now that we're doing the repeats, let's open that up. Let's make it smaller. Okay, my friend didn't like how I was doing that. And let's open up our spreadsheet. And you'll see that yellow band at the top. Just hit enable editing. That's going to push it on the other screen. All right. So now what we have going forward, this is what we used to have. And now what we want to do is we want to figure out what stays in the main survey and what can come out. So we've got family address information, the head of household, family phone, address, dam inspection. We just put that in there just because we might want to say, we probably wouldn't even say inspection, just say date originated or something. Whatever that looks like. And if that's spelled wrong, I'm sorry, I'll do a spell check afterwards. City, state, zip, how many years has your family lived here? That could be something that's changing over time. Locate your map, phone, your location on a map. That could change if they needed to, and take your family photo. Family photo, depending on how often you want to do that, may go in its own repeat. For us, it doesn't really matter at the moment, so we're going to keep it there. All this information, this is just fluff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find out I need from number 14 to 30, 15 to 30 is 15 lines. So I'm going to say 16 lines. So because I'm going to cut and paste some information in here. And I'm going to say, right mouse click over this area right here and say insert. What that does is that pushes everything down so that everything all the way to the other side is all going to get pushed down. I have a sample repeat. You'll notice it's all blue down here. That's what we're pulling over. This will be in your class files. So I'm just showing you how I would get there. Copy. I'm showing you how I could get there. If you didn't have this available and you needed to pull things over, this is how you would get started. And do a right mouse click and hit this 1, 2, 3. What that does is this drops all the data in here without any of the formatting. Because if you just paste it with the Control V, you're going to get all these error messages. And it's just cleaner if you do it this way. And then what I would do is I would come over here just because it's a repeat and I'd change the color. I like blue, makes me happy. Let me show you what we have going on here. All right. So we have the family member. Okay, so the name of this is family member. So you have first name, is your last name the same as above? And the reason for that is there's a piece code in there. Last name, grade, phone, email, because everybody has all of those right now. And if they're too young to have an email, I saw this on a reel. It was a really great information. You can always start an email address for your young ones, and they don't need to know about it. But then people can send emails to them. You can send emails to them about maybe what was going on that day. So you've got a history of emails that are going in there. And then maybe when they're 16 or when it's important, when you think it would be important, let them have access to the email. So that's kind of a fun thing. Favorite social media, favorite sport, hobby, snacks. Those are some of the things I was telling you about. T-shirt size. Do you like men or women or child? And the reason I put that in there is because I like men's shirts because they're usually thicker, they're better quality. And I don't know, I just like them better. So I put that in there so it doesn't matter male or female. Which one do you like? It's up to you. Do you have any pets? Tell me about your pet, your full name, and then your individual photo from that time. Since we send ours out in July, you can wait until, September, I think, is when most of the schools start. And maybe you add your first day school photo right here. So everything kind of times correctly. You're going to get that school photo. You're going to get the end of the year birthdays, Christmas, if you celebrate that, and other things, all of those holidays. So whenever you're going to see your family members, maybe you do that. I also tell them, take this one vertically. Usually, so this is a photographer in me. If you are taking a family photo, you do it wide because there's more people. If you're taking an individual, you would take it vertically. I have to remember vertically, horizontally. If you have elderly couple or an elderly person who does not like their weight, crop them above their belly because for the most part, all the good stuff's up here. Keep that in mind when you're taking pictures this holiday season. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. So let's go see what I have going on. Some of the things that we're looking at. So the hints are here. This one's for that vertical picture of the family member, put them in front of bushes with lots of color. That makes a great photo. And make sure there's no trash cans in it. And I've already told you my trash can story. So required, your first name is required. You can put as many things as required as you would like. And then down here, you'll see that, I'm going to push this over. Default, is your last name the same as above? If it's yes, nothing happens. So I defaulted it to yes. If no, then it opens up this second question of what's your last name? I come from a step family, so we have a lot of different names in our whole family. Down here, full name. So you'll notice this is a calculate. Calculates are, let me think, calculates are hidden by default. So if you want to see this, you would put it as text. But we don't want to see this. This is just something that helps if you're sending out Christmas cards and you want to make those automated letters, labels. You might want the full name right there. Down here, same thing happens. Do you have a pet? Yes, I have a pet. Okay, tell me about your pet. That's what that's all about. And then my yes and no questions have a 3. And I noticed this one does not have a 3. Sometimes when I want to go in after I'm done creating my whole survey, I'll just come over here and say yes. That'll grab all the yeses and nos. And then I might go in here and put 3 in all of them because I know that it's always, always, always going to be yes or no. And if it's yes, it's only 3 letters long. And then I can come back here and I can say, and do that. And then if I come all the way out, we have that phone number mask. And that means that if they don't put enough numbers in, it will turn red. So keep that in mind. I don't think that's required. So if they don't have a phone number, they can leave it blank. And that's it for today. I made it very easy for you. Your homework, if you choose to accept it, is to come over here to question types. I want you to get really familiar with question types. This is super important. So figure out which ones we've used already. You can highlight those here and then pull a few more out. Put some in the repeat, put some in the main survey, and find out what they do. And then maybe you can DM me somewhere and say, hey, I use this really cool type in our family address book, and this is what it does. I love to hear what happens when you start figuring things out, because your brain's going to start opening up and it's going to go, okay, I feel really familiar with all of this. Now I can go learn a little bit more. So if you're ready for that, I do have an advanced version of this class. Just go to Survey123Jedi.com, and instead of hitting beginner, hit the advanced or the intermediate, whichever one is in there at the moment. I think we're doing intermediate next. So by the time you see this, maybe you can just get in. There's actually a free gift that you get when you go in there. You'll get to see it, and that's it. For the price of a few tacos, remember, we have a coaching call. A bunch of GIS Survey123 co-pilots will be in that room. The great thing is, if you're doing something with Survey123 and you need an adjacent software, we're having people come in and say, hey, I'm pulling data from Survey123 into this software, but I'm getting stuck right here. And there's enough of us in there that somebody's going to be able to help you. All right, folks, have a spatial day. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing this for you. I'll talk to you soon. All right, so I just got off the call with you and I took my robe off, and then I thought, oh, I needed to tell you about inbox code, because I've been sharing that in the Copilot program. And when I shared it with them, they weren't quite there yet. They didn't know what I was talking about. So I said, oh, let me back up and let me put this into the training that's going on this week. Inbox code. Inbox code is really cool. So you'll notice right here in the instance name, I have a concatenate and I have a formula. What that is that's going to concatenate the words, the answers from family last name. It's going to give me a comma and a space. That's what that is. Let me make this bigger. you can see it even on your phones. Okay, so concatenate the family's last name, a comma and a space, and then the head of household. And then you see that \n, that's going to make that's a return, a carriage return. And then the address is going to be next. So if I went in, I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is my desktop version, and I'm going to go in here. This is an older version, but I know I have data in here. Go to inbox and refresh. So right here we have Williams with the comma and the space and my husband's name. On this piece of code, I had a long bracket and a space and then the address. So it's a little different, but it shows you the same thing. All right, so as a reminder, Survey123 only reads that top line. So I'm adding all the coolest code I've ever made for instances, which is right there, the instance name. And if you're not familiar with what this is yet, keep this code somewhere. It's going to be important someday. What you're looking at are a lot of different ways to change the dates, maybe change the colors of the dates when something's triggered, or how do I write a date in human form opposed to how the computer needs to see it. And I'll show you that. Right here, when you have a date, this is the formula for writing a date so that the computer can read it. And that's 7 days. That's 7. And then the 24 is 24 hours. And then you go to minutes and seconds and things like that. You're going to use that code all the time, because if you just put the date in there, it's going to give you a really long, ugly number. So this translates that into human dates. You'll notice that there's a \n. I like that. We just showed you what that did. That's the carriage return. We also have this turning dates into different colors. I love this because when your end user refreshes their inbox, and if there's a date that you're trying to trigger, like a due date of a work order, or maybe they need to go out and inspect something on a specific date, that date will always show up in their inbox if that's how your inbox is set up. But it'll change colors. So maybe it's due today. And if any of those records that have today, they need to be done, they turn red. And then 7 days before today, it would turn orange. So your inspectors are out in the field and they might be near one of those red areas or one of those yellow areas, orange, sorry, it's orange. One of those orange areas, they can visually see that they're in the location, and they probably should go see these to get those out of their inboxes. So it's kind of a nice thing to have, something very special that Survey123 does in the inbox. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to share with you that's kind of cool. There is this, there's a link in here, and it looks like it's going to select multiples and how to show those in the dashboard. So there's even that in there. Yeah, most of them have to do with dates. And that's because I had a lot of dates that I needed to do for the inspector. So we've used that a lot. I hope that you find that this is interesting. And if this is over your head, that's okay. I just want you to have it. If ever you need it, you'll know that it's here. Thank you for liking and subscribing to our channel. We drop trainings in here all the time, and I want you to be the first one to be able to see them. At some point during your journey in Survey123, you might need a co-pilot or a room full of co-pilots. We have that for you. We have a coaching call that we do once a week for the price of a few tacos, and we meet up to answer each other's questions. I knew that I didn't have all the answers. Survey123 is a big universe. So what I did is I brought people together, and our community is growing. So whether you're watching this late in 2024 or in 2025, just know that we're growing. And life is better with friends. So get involved with folks who are like-minded And some of them are going to have more experience than you, and some of them might have less experience. So we help those who need it, and we glean from those who have the knowledge. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the other side.